My name is Rudy Espinoza. I serve as the Executive Director of Inclusive Action for the City. We're an economic justice organization based in LA, and we are currently in our office, our headquarters here in Boyle Heights. This used to be a textile manufacturing place that was vacant for a lot of years. We saw it, we acquired it, and we imagined it to be essentially a shared space where we can host people, where we can provide affordable space to nonprofits and also to businesses. We share space with the local small business. I was born in East LA. I grew up in West Covina in the San Gabriel Valley. I was raised by a single mom who migrated to this country from Zacatecas when she was 18 years old. And she raised me and my little brother by herself as a waitress. She worked in restaurants for 35 years. And as I was growing up, I saw her work really hard. I saw her, confront racism and discrimination because of who she was and her accent. She didn't have a formal education, so she had to really struggle to navigate systems. And so when I was a young person, my vision was I need to get rich to take care of my mom and to take care of my family. That was the idea. So I need to go to school. I need to be the first in my family to go to school so I could get rich. I'm really interested in how money moves in communities or how it doesn't move. And I'm interested in thinking about how do we push against these systems and change these systems to make sure that the hardworking families out here get the resources that they deserve. When Inclusive Action was being formed by our founder, Alfred Freiho, and other founders, we were discussing the economy. We were discussing how our communities were responding to the recession. Back then it was in 2008. And we were inspired by street vendors. And we were in awe of how these entrepreneurs, in the face of tremendous obstacles, were still figuring out a way to build businesses on the public right of way. And we began to learn from them. We literally went out and spoke to them on the sidewalk and asked them and surveyed them about what they were dealing with in the context of the recession. And they were all telling us that they were struggling because LA was one of the only cities that didn't have a permit system for sidewalk vendors. Over the last decade, over maybe almost 15 years now, we have passed 2 state policies that have created systems for sidewalk vendors throughout the state of California. And because of those state policies, we were able to legalize street vending in Los Angeles finally. Just because you create a policy or pass a law or create a new program doesn't mean that it's working. And it doesn't mean that people know how to navigate in that system. And so street vendors are still facing a lot of challenges today. Many of them are still struggling to figure out how to navigate the laws that were just passed. They're struggling to understand what it means for them and their families. They're struggling to interact with departments that have control, that are managing these new programs. Sometimes they can't even get materials in the language that they speak. One success that I think about is my team that's in the other room. There's like 10 people there that are having their weekly meeting. And that team is our Access to Capital team. And it's kind of a trip because one success that I'm really proud of is during the campaign, when we were still trying to shore up our champions at city council, we were in a hearing in the city hall chambers, and some of the vendors were saying, "Hey, Rudy, if we ever win, and if we ever get a chance to get a permit, who's going to give us a loan to get the carts that are needed so we could get that permit, right? Like, who's going to give us that loan? Like, I don't have credit. I'm undocumented. I don't see anyone, so these banks may not help me." And so we did a scan, and they were right. It's going to be pretty challenging for them to get a loan. And so the team here at Inclusive Action began to think about, well, if there's no one out here that's developing products for street vendors, maybe we have to be the first. And so in 2015, around that time, we began to devise what would it take for our organization to become a loan fund. And it was prototyping. It was informed by the needs of street vendors. And lo and behold, now it's been 8 years later, we're a certified community development financial institution. We've deployed over $2.5 million in microloans. And I think about the team that's in the other room talking about the next quarter and talking about how we're going to get low interest loans to people and how we're going to get business coaching to them too, because we know that that's really important. That's a big success. I think receiving this award means a lot to me because Vermont Slauson knows what it takes to get this work done. It means a lot to be honored by a peer by another organization that's out in the trenches every single day, that has staff that have lived experience. And so when somebody understands your life and understands the work that you're doing and says, hey, I'm giving you props, that means a lot. It means a lot more than somebody that's giving you an award that doesn't understand your work. And so, it means a lot to this organization to be honored by Vermont Slauson, one of our partners. And, I don't know, thank you.